All right, listen, I hope you have on your red sneakers because it's time to get fast. It's time to talk about The Flash, the Scarlet Speedster here. And I got to tell you, we got the usual suspects here, myself, David, Jamie, and Tatiana. And this was the episode that made me go, damn!
This was it. This was the episode we were waiting for.
Oh my gosh, it really was. For me, it was the official beginning of the crossover because Supergirl was kind of like just a standalone thing. This one really set it off, and you know, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, alien invasion, the Dominators. And I mean, they were a formidable foe. They seemed to come from nowhere, but man, oh man, when they arrived, they came with a vengeance.
Right.
So this is a story line that it goes back to the comics.
Yeah,
and you were talking about
there's
that.
a comic book crossover. I don't remember quite the year. I'm going to say early 90s, late 89. Yeah, sounds right. Keith Giffen, who's known for his work on the JLA International, Justice League International comic books. And of course, the great Todd McFarlane was the artist on the comic book. And so I thought what they did a great job with this is in the comic, the Dominators are sort of, they're just your regular alien invaders.
Yeah.
There wasn't any like real meaning or chemistry to them, and I thought they did a good job with that in the show.
Right.
Can we get the picture up? Go to B2, because this one, the next pickup, is kind of, I want them to see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Take a look. So that's like the evolution of like the original inception, then how they evolved a little bit more to what you're talking about, and then how they appeared in the TV.
Ones that Todd McFarlane
Exactly. So go ahead.
Well, I thought they did a really good job of giving them a purpose and giving them a reason to be attacking. And we'll talk about it a little bit more later, but then it ties into our characters and what we watch on the show. And so I thought they did a really good job of sort of fleshing out what was in the comics just sort of the arbitrary aliens.
And they were creepy. Like when you saw them, they were creepy. That was some great special effects.
Well, you know what? I don't have it up there, but there actually is a panel. And by the way, when we get done watching this, folks, there's going to be a link that you should go check out to what is it called? History of the Dominators by Comics Explained. If the link's not there, check it out, because they actually explain there's this one little line in a panel that I don't have here for you, but you actually see them make the comment about, we've discovered the metagene.
Yes, that's
and
what it's about.
That is like that tiny nugget that they took from that old comic and they made it into
throwaway in the comic.
A throwaway, but they made it epic here. Epic here. Okay, so second epic point, folks. The gathering of the Super Friends.
Yeah, the hangar scene was great. It was nice. That's the one where you got to see almost everyone gathered together. So.
And obviously it's a abandoned Star Labs, but it's the Hall of Justice.
Oh my gosh!
It's designed perfectly. It's got the little like lake in the front.
Hey, Kellen, can you go to B7? I want people to see the Hall of Justice pic. I even went as far as to grab an old shot from the old Super Friends cartoon. Look at that. That is like insane. In the hall. Oh my gosh.
Peculiar Warrior said that I kind of wish John had gone with Kara and Barry, which I totally agree.
Absolutely wish John
he's an alien too. You have an alien friend who can help you with the aliens, but that's okay.
But actually, remember when we had the Flash Supergirl crossover last season? John was on the run with Alex, so Barry never met him.
They just don't want him to cross over.
Well, they just haven't met yet. Eventually, that's next season. Next season, we'll get the real Justice.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait your turn.
But it was great to see all these characters together, and one of the things I really liked about this episode is while it was obviously a big crossover with all the other shows, it was very much a Flash episode.
Yes.
And all the characters that were focused on, including Supergirl and Arrow and all those characters, have appeared on Flash before. And the Legends characters that we really concentrated on, Firestorm, Martin Stein, Jax, those characters were from Flash and Heatwave.
So the Wests got to have a storyline.
Yes, they did.
So,
yes, they did.
you know.
Yeah, I'd say, and it was just, I mean, it was really great seeing all those characters come together, and the way they interacted with each other. I think we all loved Heatwave and his sort of interaction with Kara.
I'm not going to call you Supergirl. I'm going to call you Skirt.
Well, I loved it. It was so cute. I loved her reaction when he said, how'd you get your backstory? Well, I burned my family.
That was fun. That part was
fun. Interesting backstory.
Him calling her Skirt and then like later, calling me or whatever. I was like, I guess we.
What was funny was the change up. He's like, I'm not gonna call you that. I'm not gonna call you. He goes, I'm gonna call you Skirt. Then when it hits the fan, he's like, Supergirl, do something. That was funny.
The punchline was good.
I do like that they mentioned Snart.
Yes.
And they got him in there.
Yeah.
That was great
That
that
was
they
really
explained that.
good. Really good.
That was
to
a really
bring it all
nice
together.
moment with Ray and Barry.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
all the legends were kind of there in spirit. It was cool. I like
Exactly.
that.
Now, along with this episode, they were not just that revelation of what happened to Captain Cold, but there were a lot of other revelations, things that people were finding out, things that happened. Like I was glad that now Adam's got his suit back. Ray can now, and Cisco hinted that he's going to do an upgrade.
Yeah, I'm ready
Way
for
to go,
that.
Cisco,
I'm
with the
ready for that.
upgrade. But there were lots and lots of revelations. I mean, there's a lot of things. So we found out what was on the recording.
Right.
Okay, we found that out.
Cryptic, don't trust me.
What did you guys think about that? What did you guys think about that finally being or how it was exposed too?
Yeah, so the recordings, what we found out is it's Barry 40 years in the future saying, I changed the past, a war is coming, and you can't trust me.
Right.
Now, I think all our characters obviously thought they were talking about this moment,
Yeah.
Flashpoint and the war with the
But it can't
Dominators.
be, yeah.
I don't necessarily
It
think
can't
that's, I
Right.
think something else is coming,
Right.
because why would you wait 40 years
Exactly.
to...
It's
Exactly.
definitely something else that happens
I think
in
it's
the
something
future.
farther down the
Exactly.
line,
He was just
but it was
sitting
great to
around
see.
like,
Possibly.
oh, by the way, I should record this mess.
Oh, let me get that back there.
One more revelation, since we're talking about revelations.
Yeah.
I love when Diggle is introduced to crazy stuff.
Oh,
And when he first sees,
Yeah.
the quote, when he first sees that little mini skiff from the Wave Rider, where he goes, you know, I've never done drugs. It's because I was always afraid I'd see
That
weird
was
stuff."
hilarious. Diggle
I
was the
loved
comic
it.
relief because Cisco couldn't be
Well, and
there.
I like that he blames it all on Barry.
Yeah.
Like, it's all Barry's fault for getting
My life was
superpowers,
normal until
then
I met you.
aliens attack and all this other stuff.
I love the fact that everybody's mentioning that. Joe actually said it when aliens are invading. He goes, "Oh yeah, like this city doesn't have enough crazy."
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody.
Joe's the other.
Joe
sort of
had that
Diggle.
line
He's
too.
the
It
Flash's Diggle.
was kind of fun.
But the other revelations were that Stein has a daughter now,
Yes.
right? And
Right.
which we had previously, he thought that maybe it was a new wife because he loved this woman and he
Yeah.
can't tell the difference. But it turned out it was his daughter.
And I like that they cleared that up.
Yes, thank
too.
God.
And then we know Carissa still exists, and they just had a daughter, so
Yeah.
it's not the worst
Right.
thing in the
Exactly.
world.
He was acting really freaked out by it,
Right.
but it wasn't the
Yeah.
worst thing in the world.
Right, you know what-
And then
The newspaper.
the news.
I want,
yes.
you know what I want you. I want you to speak on it, but I was wanted to have him pop it back up. Can you go back to the picture you had before? There was a newspaper article and Stein's daughter. We got to take a look at this because hit him, Tatiana, about the newspaper.
So the newspaper is the same article that Iris West Allen wrote in 2024 when The Flash disappears. Which, by the way, can we talk about how much I love that Barry literally does not care that he disappears? First, he's like, Iris West Allen, yes, and I was like, something changed with our future.
He barely even
because it's
notices,
not
like,
her.
Oliver
he doesn't-
notices it.
Yeah, Oliver's
Yeah.
like, whoa, you disappeared. He's like, yeah, and Iris doesn't write about it. I don't know what to do. But anyway, and then Oliver's like rolling his eyes in the
No, it's
background.
actress Judy Greer
Yeah,
who
it's
wrote
actually-
the article.
So Julie Greer wrote the article instead and plagiarized Iris because it's literally the same words.
Right.
But that's fine. What do you guys think it means? Obviously, that's setting up the second half of the season because we know that there's like a ticking clock or whatever going on.
Well, you had an interesting thought
Yeah.
before that I hadn't thought about. We were talking about before the show. Is that this means that Iris either gives up journalism in the future,
Or gives
Or
up
sh-
newspaper journalism.
newspaper
print
journalism, sure, print journalism, or she doesn't exist in the future.
Yeah.
No.
So
It's
that
definitely-
gives
it's
us
not
something to
about
play
their
with.
relationship
Right.
status,
Right.
because otherwise it would
It's
say
her
Iris
existence.
West or
Right.
Iris West something else.
Right. I mean, what I'm hoping is that she kind of takes on somewhat of a covert vigilante role and really does embody that whole brother-sister team up.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because
Yeah.
they keep talking about it. They keep
Or I
going
would
to
like
that.
them to, yeah,
Feels
they're
like that's
definitely going to go
coming.
to the Brothers Sister team up for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Because otherwise Wally wouldn't have brought it up and they
Right.
wouldn't keep bringing it up.
Keep bringing it up.
But I think that in terms of the newspaper, it's definitely going to have to do with like, you know how like last year it was like Zoom's going to take what you love and it was Henry. And this year it's like Savitar's like, I know your fears, I know your weaknesses.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Savitar's going to come for Iris, presumably. And Barry's going to think that this is when Iris dies, even though it was like, you know, whatever. So I think that that's what it's going to be, like a racing, a clock or race against time to save Iris. You
Speaking
know?
of race against time and brother sister team ups, Wally running around and they
Yeah.
decided to lie to him.
That was so, I honestly feel like someone in the writer's room was like, we need to give Iris more to do, so we're going to switch her role with Joe's.
Right.
Give her a couple more scenes.
And it seemed kind of odd, yeah.
Because clearly Joe was saying things that Iris would say,
Right.
and Iris was saying things that Joe would say.
And Joe's going,
So-
hey, you did good,
Yeah,
kid.
exactly.
Lunch is on me. You know?
I didn't find it so odd.
Is this a
because
Freaky Friday?
I feel like they're very simpatico. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, they're very on the same level, especially when it comes to protecting Wally.
Right. I
And
think
so
it's
it didn't.
sort of like it's different when it's someone that you love.
And also, she's taking the mother role.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
you know. So yeah.
Look, I feel like you can definitely see it being in character, but the fact that they didn't have anyone like, you're turning into your dad, Iris, what they should have done,
right.
so you know it's meant to be in character, and not like, we accidentally wrote Iris instead of Joan.
So, clerical error when they wrote the script. Something that we haven't talked about ahead of time, and maybe just a me thing, but I kind of said this when Barry went back and grabbed Arrow and Diggle, and by the way, the throwing up, that was kind of funny. A lot of vomit over this crossover.
Diggle's reaction.
Diggle's reaction was great, but did anybody else stop and go, gee, why in the world didn't Barry stop Vigilante? He was right there. He could have done it.
Oh,
he goes and grabs him, but he saw his boys fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clearly they're fighting a bad
I honestly
guy.
have to ignore that scene. Otherwise, I would think that the entire season-long arc of Arrow is dumb because Barry could just come and step
That's
in
right, exactly.
right.
He's like, he grabs him, he has enough time to grab one, take him all the way to the office, then come get the other, take him all the way to the office, and the dude that they were clearly fighting,
I mean, granted, in the grand scheme of it all, the alien invasion kind of weighed a little heavier. Let me go fight this guy.
It's an alien invasion thing, and I think also from a writing standpoint, Vigilante is something that we want figured out later with Arrow.
What they did do a really good job of was setting up the Arrow part of the crossover by having the mind control device. First off, the mind control device was awesome,
Yes.
right? With Kara and Barry.
Oh
fighting
my
each
gosh,
other.
yes,
that was a great battle sequence.
It's fantastic.
That was great.
It's really great.
It was that mind control device that the Dominators had on them, and didn't see it coming. That's the other thing. I did not see that coming. You know, he sets the thing up. You don't know what's going on. The president gets killed.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Okay,
and no one cares.
That was very missed over. I didn't even pick up
When that
until
glossed
Legends
over?
that he was dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like the entire world should be in chaos over that.
Right.
But instead everyone's
But like you said earlier, but wait, alien invasion, that may trump.
Yeah.
But people don't know about the alien invasion. That's the thing. Like it's on the down low.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So it's like. Yeah. So it should be still like something should be going
president,
on. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we had the mind control thing.
Yeah.
That was great.
Well, it's always great seeing the heroes fight the heroes.
Right.
I mean, that's a fun thing.
Right.
We love seeing that.
And they did a really good job of it.
My favorite little part of that, though, was kind of having the sort of world's finest race again.
Yes,
with
that was
Supergirl
great.
and Barry.
Yes.
And then, of course, I'm loving when they let Barry utilize his powers.
Yes.
So that first spin, throwing the lightning at all three of them, and then using the vibration to be able to phase through. Oh. I love seeing all of that.
Was this the episode where Speedy throws an arrow to Black Canary and she
catches it? No, that was an arrow.
That's later.
That's an arrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, but at the end of this one, instead, it's like once the mind control is over, the aliens suck up the Arrow characters and the Legends characters who were on Arrow and take them away to Arrowland, which we will discuss after fan art.
Well.
Oh wait, you got something else?
Well, yeah, I got to say one more thing about this battle. This battle that they did was the best. Like, it was the evil heroes. You know what I mean? And and to me, like, this is the year that we had Captain America: Civil War.
Yes.
And of course, when you have a motion picture like that, you have movie budget, but on a television budget, this was the best good guys versus good guys I have seen, and I've got to.
Armin Kevorkian deserves so many
seriously,
props.
I could not even move on to anything until we give props to that. That scene right there, that's up on the screen right there.
And JJ McCarro, the stunt coordinator.
I'm telling you, that was amazing to pull this off on a small scale, and then to deviate the duties. You have Arrow taking care of the ground group, and Flash taking up the aerial group, and while rescuing Wally, who showed up for the game. Wally shows up.
They won't let him be great. He's like flashlight. He's like, look, Barry, and then he dies. And then
needs more training.
And now he's like,
not a
look,
hero
Barry.
yet.
And can we also acknowledge that Speedy was back? I love seeing her back.
Oh my gosh,
that was really dope to see her kind of in the front too. As
And
they
why
were.
was she back? Well, because it's aliens.
Aliens.
Like, he didn't need a reason for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then they got sucked up,
Oh my gosh.
which we'll talk about momentarily.
Oh my gosh, that's by the way, and that left me feeling very Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Han Solo's gone,
yeah.
and then credits roll, and I'm like, what?
You definitely had to watch.
But you only had like 24 hours to find out the answer,
Instead
not
of 2 years,
Right.
yeah. Oh my gosh. But now back to what you were talking about with the fan art. Listen, with all of this going on, we are going to discuss what happened once they got sucked up in the alien alien ship. But before that, some fan art Tatiana talked about. Thanks to you. Keep sending it. You guys are super talented. We love getting it. You send it, we show
Keep
it.
drawing it so that you can send it.
That's right.